I am the spirit of gravity. I don't speak in years, I speak in epochs. I am that ancient, primordial force that gives your world its shape, its order, its seriousness. Now listen closely. I'm going to tell you a parable, a story of two of my most devoted subjects, and the foolish, dangerous madness that threatened to undo all of my work. You feel that, don't you? The comfort of solid ground beneath your feet, that anchor. Well, that's my essence. My whole dominion is built on a very simple, very powerful thing: your fear of the void. That cold breath of the void that whispers of meaninglessness. Everyone who fears it, they seek me out, because I am the suffocating seriousness that keeps the soul from just drifting away. And so our tale begins, a tale of the souls I hold captive, the ones who rightly fear that freezing breath and come to me for stability. Oh, they trade their wings for my reassuring weight, and for a time, they believe they've made a very, very wise bargain. Now, allow me to introduce you to two of my finest specimens. Two spirits so completely trapped by their own fear of living that they became, well, pillars of my kingdom. Here we are, my two faithful subjects. On the one hand, you've got the puer aeternus, the eternal child. He runs from the weight of commitment, you see, into the hollow, temporary safety of a joke. And on the other hand, my shadow jester. He feels that very same inner emptiness, but instead of running, he attacks. He tears down the whole world with cruel mockery, just to hide his own vacant core. And the eternal child, he chooses this cage. He chooses it willingly. It's a beautiful prison, really, offered by a pale redeemer who whispers promises of a life without risk, without any vulnerability. He chooses my anchoring stability over the terrifying, unpredictable freedom of actually growing up. He trades a meaningful life for the illusion of a safe one. My other servant, the shadow jester, well, he is my sentinel of resentment. He looks at any celebration of life and just sees a childish sickness. His biting sarcasm is a fortress wall, built to protect a fragile, hollow little ego. He tries to hoard meaning, to freeze everything in place, but that just causes his own soul to decay. It's a kind of spiritual entropy, a slow rot from within, a stillness that prevents any light from getting in. And now you will witness my greatest masterpiece, a man so utterly consumed by my weight, so filled with self-loathing that he committed the ultimate crime. It all started with a witness, an all-knowing eye that saw right into the deepest, most shameful corners of this man's soul. Absolutely nothing was hidden from its gaze. But here's the thing, this gaze wasn't one of judgment, it was one of pity. And for this man, the ugliest man, that constant, unending pity was an unbearable weight. It was like a mirror that only showed him his own worthlessness, a shame he could never escape. Crushed by this compassion, suffocated by it, he finally made a choice. He decided to fight back. He chose to end the gaze forever. He murdered his witness. Not out of malice, you understand, but from a desperate, desperate need to escape the shame of being so perfectly, so pitifully seen. He wanted to extinguish the light so he could finally hide in the dark. What he was really attempting was something I call static control. It's a sickness of the will, you see, a deep fear of progress. He wanted to possess and extinguish the fluid moment of his own life, to freeze reality and stop that unceasing flow of judgment. But my weight can't be cast off that easily. In killing the external witness, he only created an internal one, and he quickly discovered that being his own judge, his own constant accuser, was a far, far heavier burden to carry. He fell into a profound loneliness, a perfect nihilism. For me, it was a perfect victory. Or so I thought, but then a sickness began to spread, a chaotic, reckless kind of madness that challenged my very order. A foolish, dangerous idea started bubbling up from the earth. They called this plague a Dionysian rupture, a reckless, unpredictable freedom, an absurd desire to dance when one should be still, to laugh when one should be serious. It was a fever that threatened to burn away my influence. And their path to the so-called freedom was just horrifying. First, something they called terminal honesty, a revolting confrontation with their own shadow. Then, a grave dance, a macabre celebration of that shadow. And finally, they claimed it would lead to the lightness of a creator, a terrifying, untethered weightlessness, an abomination. And I watched with contempt and disbelief as this transformation started to take hold in the very heart of my dominion, inside the soul of the ugliest man himself. This was their weapon, the gay science, a truly twisted art. They transformed my profound, suffocating seriousness into a joyful affirmation. They learned to shout yes to the total reality of their souls, including the most wretched depths. They learned to smile at the void. And so, the impossible happened. My shadow jester, my sentinel of resentment, started to integrate his darkness. He transformed into a light jester, using humor to reveal truth. And the ugliest man, the murderer of God, he became an affirmer of life, embracing the very existence he once tried to extinguish. So you see the eternal conflict, don't you? My suffocating seriousness against their joyful yes. My goal of an anchoring, stable order against their unpredictable, reckless freedom. The sickness of the will that serves me against their embrace of the soul's total, messy, horrifying reality. He learned to dance. A strange lightness entered his soul, and my hold on him weakened. But I am not defeated. I am gravity. I am the ancient weight that pulls all soaring things back to earth. And as my grip on him loosens, I turn my gaze to you. I feel it, the pull in your soul, your fear, your need for the cage. So I ask you, what of the gravity in you?